I was adopted when I was 3.5, and I knew that I was. I remembered his family, and when I became a teenager, I rebelled really bad against my parents. I had every opportunity there was, and I just became bitter until my 11th grade year, and I left my 11th grade year, and I homeschooled my 11th and 12th grade years and went to college a year early. Summer, I met my son's father, and we got married a year later and moved to Arkansas, and that's when we started getting out of church. We went to church here and there still when he was little, and then it was a very difficult marriage, and he went into the military after we'd been married for almost 5 years. He left while he was overseas, and I came back home. I tried to make it on my own without any help. I wanted to prove to myself and everybody that I could do it on my own, and I did. I did wonderful. Within a year, I had a job. I was about to become the training manager for 5 different restaurants. And then literally 2 weeks after that job opened up for me, I was in a car accident. A drunk driver hit me, and I had been not living right at all. Never went to church, never read my Bible. I was drinking and drugs and all of that. And literally, on the way to the hospital in the ambulance, I told God, I said, "Okay, quit yelling at me. I'll go home," And I realized that I could make it on my own. I could do it, but God wasn't going to let me do it without Him. I was going to come home to a controlled environment where there would be no drinking, no drugs, no anything, and I would have to go to church Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. What I did not foresee was that God was really going to get a hold of my heart. My uncle invited me to come to RU the first week I was home for Founders Friday, and I was coming just for him. I didn't really know what RU was all about. And I got here, and that first night I told my mom, I said, "Mom, this is where I am supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in RU." And she didn't realize I was struggling with addictions, to marijuana and drinking and pills, all kinds of things. She didn't know I was struggling with these addictions. That first week, after my first visit to RU, I went home, and about the middle of the week, I was just really, really struggling with my addictive behaviors. And I sat down at the kitchen table and just sobbed, just started crying. And the last thing I wanted to do was pick up the First Timers book. And so I guess, the Lord was even speaking to me even then, telling me I needed to pick it up, even though I really didn't want to. Because when you're struggling with your addictions, you don't want to get help sometimes. You just want that pain to go away. And so I picked up the First Timers packet, and I'm telling you, it was like a relief that I finally had somewhere to turn to get help with my feelings and the way I was struggling. Again, it wasn't so much that I wanted to get sober. That's not the reason I came to RU. I came to RU because I knew that God was going to be there. God was going to help me through RU. And that's what I spent my time doing. I was recovering from the car accident, and I didn't have a job, and he was in school with my mom, and so I would sit at the kitchen table or in my room and just go through my books. It was such a blessing to learn how to have a personal relationship with Christ. And that relationship has grown over the past 18 months to where now if I had a problem such as the car accident, I know I could go to God in prayer and have Him listen, because I have created this bond with Him through these challenges. I've known Brother Bobby Householder since, I want to say maybe 8th or 9th grade. As people who have had addictions, we need someone who is going to tell us from the Bible what God says about our addictive behaviors. I asked the Lord to become my Savior when I was 14 years old, and it was the best thing that I've ever done. And I wish I could say that I had always served Him the way that He deserves, but I can say that I'm going to now.